Joelle, you asked me how I got myself into this situation. Well, I'm starting from square one. I'm going to tell everybody. This is how I got myself into this situation. I was born in Binghamton in Lourdes Hospital. That's where I'm starting. In my experience with social services throughout my life, my entire life, starting with when they hit me with their car. They wouldn't help my mom get us away from my abusive father. That was out of the question. Much like they don't help women now. Thank God they finally arrested Dave Loudon. They finally did something. Those Sydney police finally did something. Him and Todd Quick sat next to the woman's house that has Dave Loudon's kid, which isn't even the mom. I don't know how that worked out. Well, I know the mom's on meth. I guess there's nobody that wanted her. I don't know. So, thank God they're finally changing things. Yeah, women and children have rights. Delaware County. You're supposed to be protecting us. When there is a domestic violence call, you don't get to make the call, cop. You're supposed to be arresting both people that are involved now. It's supposed to be a no tolerance policy, but you don't do that. If it's a cute girl you want to fuck, you just press the charges on the man. Or if it's just some insignificant family with nobody you're interested in, they're just poor and homeless, you just do whatever you want. You press charges or whatever you want. You just go back, you fucking laugh about it. Look at those dirt bags. Right? Just like the slumlords around here that have been doing the same thing. My dad used to be Mrs. Beth. He did that job for Bill Baldwin on that Project X, Johnson Circle. That was supposed to be cleaned up decades ago, and they didn't. My children ended up with lead poisoning on 72 Mead Street in Walton, where there was paperwork signed that the house was tested for lead, and there wasn't any. Signed by Dorothy Ragazzi, the landlord, and HUD. And I called the codes people. Public health was notified, which is a part of social services. And I tried to get that house tested because she kept telling us, all these downstairs windows, we're going to replace them. We're going to replace them. We're going to replace them. Well, they never got replaced, but I had lawyers coming to my house asking a bunch of questions about a bunch of money they owe. I don't know why they're asking me. She was just my landlord. Apparently, they went around asking everyone. And then lo and behold, Dorothy's husband ends up dead in their basement. She claims he overdosed on drugs. But it's pretty funny. Every time she talks about it, she's always got that duping delight thing going on. She wasn't sad about him dying. Innuendos about whatever she did to him, what she wanted to do to him. I don't know. Maybe she was just glad he was dead. I don't know. I'm not claiming to know. I'm just telling you what I observed. Then she ended up with all his life insurance money, which she blew, went right through it, never replaced windows. She never did a thing in that house. I had to replace and fix everything. And when my father passed away, who was doing it, my own Mrs. Beth, then nothing got done and everything was falling apart. I couldn't keep up with it. She certainly wasn't going to do anything about it. It's fruitless to call HUD. They didn't do anything. They're supposed to. That's their job. So I got a hold of the codes guy and public health and everything. And I'm like, we need to get these windows tested. These windows need to get changed. They're the same fucking windows. Boy, I wonder how quick they're going to get changed now that I'm mentioning that. Somebody should go test them for lead. They'll get changed real fucking quick, like those windows in the 99 Main Street when I mentioned the broken one that you just left. the motto around Delaware County. It's good enough for who it's for. They actually say that. My grandfather used to say it. My dad used to say it. Good enough for who it's for. That's how they function around here. Delaware County employees. 99 Main Street reeks of mold. I see they have ventilation put in the front. The two big machines in the front for ventilation. It still fucking stinks. Good enough for who it's for. Wonder if they have lead. Well, not anymore, because they got new windows. Dorothy Ragazzi. So they're never going to test those windows. Nothing's ever going to become of this, because she claims, oh, well, they must have got it someplace else. It wasn't my house. Well, I was a stay-at-home mom, and the only other place those kids went was fucking school. So maybe the school better get shit tested. Maybe that's why they went through and did a whole lot of work over there over the summer last year. Getting rid of the asbestos, finally. And why were they doing that while school was in session? That's safe. Walton. I'm done with all your shit. I'm done with it all. I've had enough.